1 second. Okay, let's give it 30 more seconds, Raquel, and then we can get started. I can see everybody joining, which is fantastic. Good morning,
Okay.
everyone.
Good morning.
I can see everybody everybody joining, Raquel, so I think we can get started.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining today's webinar brought to you by Micro South Africa and Adapt IT Company in collaboration with BEONx. My name is Raquel Correa. For those that don't know me, I'm the Customer Success Manager at Micro South Africa, and I'm delighted to introduce you to BEONx. BEONx is a revenue management system developed in Spain, and we all know that is one of the world's most iconic tourism destinations. Today, BEONx supports over 2,000 hotels globally and is now a preferred partner of Micro South Africa. That means BEONx is fully compatible with the Oracle ecosystem, which is Opera V5 and above, as well as Opera Cloud via our OHIP integration platform. BEONx helps hotels, and especially the revenue manager, to become more efficient and to maximize both revenue and profit through smarter data driven decisions. Today's session is the first in a series of educational webinars we'll be launching together with BEONx. For this one, I'm happy to introduce you to Juan Ruano, who will be leading the presentation. Juan is a former revenue manager with over 10 years of experience implementing revenue technology. Today, he'll be sharing his insights on the future of revenue management in a session titled Beyond Spreadsheets, the Rise of the Strategic Revenue Leader. So just so everybody knows, the session will last around 25 minutes, followed by a Q&A. So in the meantime, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat at any time, and then we'll go through them at the end. There's also an option to book a session with the BEONx team, which we will share later with you. It's currently on your screen. And now, without any further ado, I hand you over to Juan. Juan.
All right. So thank you so much, Raquel, and good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us today. I see a great attendance. So I think the topic we've chosen for this first session is of high interest. And what we want to talk to you about today is about this evolution of the role of the revenue manager, which is required from us, but also what tools do we need in order to deliver it. As Raquel said, if you go to the offer section on your webinar screen, you will be able to book some time with us in case you wanted to learn more about BEONx or share with us your business goals and your business needs and how we can help you. But anyway, let's go ahead with the session today. As I was saying, the world is changing, so must we, right? The revenue management community. We have gone through now quite a few years of high inflation, rising costs. Therefore, the hotel profit margins that we are able to deliver are being compromised. We are all experiencing labor shortages across not only in revenue management but across all departments. So therefore, there is a higher reliance on technology across all areas of the hotel business. Guests are becoming more savvy. They want more value for their stays, but we need to continue delivering profit, right? So things become slightly more challenging for us revenue managers. And markets are changing, not only in terms of the needs and the expectations of the clients, but also macroeconomic shifts, inflation, geopolitics. We as revenue managers can no longer just be rate setters. We really need to take control over the strategy. And this is what we are going to be talking about today, how we can help to evolve the revenue manager in what is demanded from us today. The reality is that this conversation keeps on coming up, right? That's the evolution of the role of the revenue manager. But many of us, still in our day to day, this is how our life looks like, right? At work. The creation of daily pickup reports, paid reports, and any other reports is done manually. We still spend lots of time and dedication in terms of understanding what our competitors are doing. Our forecasts, if we are producing them, are produced once a week, once a month, and is all done manually, which require lots of work and sometimes with questionable accuracy. Our strategy updates, our rates, restrictions, overbooking is all updated manually and depends on us taking the decision and implementing it. And every time we go into corporate contract renegotiation season, or we need to do, for whatever reason, a more in-depth research or analysis of an aspect of our business, it's a one-off Excel base, and that is, as you know, very time consuming. Does it sound familiar? So here in the poll section of your webinar, I'm gonna publish a question just to sense amongst the audience today how much time you are spending daily going into manual reports. It will be very interesting to hear from you and get an idea as to whether this actually sounds familiar to you. So what we need, and what we are going to be talking about today, is how do we move from the the traditional revenue manager function, to what is expecting from a revenue leader nowadays, right? From this daily creation of reports to having real-time insights available, from having a strategy very much focused on room revenue to actually going beyond room revenue and having a strategy of total revenue for our hotels, from being reactive to being proactive using forecasts, a forecast-led strategy, from optimizing top line to optimizing profit. We will really go into this point, which I think is super interesting. From moving away from experience, intuition-based decision making, to using AI, which again is this buzzword we keep on hearing everywhere, but we will give you some insights into this as well. And very, very important, from being siloed to actually being a collaborative leader, right? To talking to these other departments which can add value to our decision making, but reaching out to them and do it in an effective way. At the end of the day, is from an admin heavy type of role to a strategy focused type of role, from a data cruncher to a strategic leader, which is what is demanded from us today. For this to happen, we will focus on 4 pillars, which we want to touch on today. We could do a session on each one of them, but today we are going to give you kind of some insights into them from the conversation. But those 4 pillars, which really determine the future of revenue management, are going to be data, more accurate, more frequent, more accessible, more usable, adaptability, proactivity, as well as, as the business models are shifting, as the market conditions, twists and turns of the market are changing, but also collaborative, trying to get inputs from the different departments which can help us in taking the decisions that led us to profit, moving beyond ADR, moving beyond RevPAR, and taking into consideration other elements which are key to understand not how much revenue we make, but how much profit we actually keep. And technology, which is the enabler through automation, through artificial intelligence, is the enabler of really becoming a true revenue leader, a strategy-led revenue professional. So the first pillar, data. We at BEONx, what we provide is a platform which allow you as a revenue leader to centralize your day-to-day operations, from data analysis and availability of that data, to forecast generation, to a strategy generation, to its distribution. But before we do anything, the first thing that we need is data which is accurate and which is basically contemplates different levels. Traditionally, revenue management technology has used hotel data. Obviously, we use hotel data as well. In the case of Opera Cloud, we even have a real-time connectivity, which will allow us to get bookings one by one as they take place, cancellations, extensions, absolutely everything. Booking by booking, all the information lands in BEONx, so we are able to understand at any time what is your on the books, what is your pickup, what is your comparison against last year, same time last year, broken down by segment, by room type, absolutely everything. But this is the basis of revenue management. We need to make revenue management more proactive. Therefore, we are going to also contemplate what is going on in your comp set, not only in terms of what is the comp set price at, but also what is your comp set online reputation, what services they are offering, what is the value proposition that the customer is going to be comparing you against when taking the decision to stay with you or to go to the hotel next door. And a third level of data that we receive is destination demand. Basically, before when there is a twist in the market, before that impacts your concept, before that impacts your hotel, we want to be aware and we want to be able to react first and to be proactive about this. Having that data in an accurate way and having that data in real time is going to be key to start taking decisions within BEONx in the platform. We talk all the time about breaking silos in hotels, but the reality is that it's quite difficult to collaborate and communicate with our other departments. And let me give you an example how this could really change and how you could actually benefit from collaborating in a platform like BEONx. First of all, well, let's give the example of the group inquiry, which I'm sure many agree that that process tends to be a bit broken in many hotel groups. So a sales team receives a large group request for midweek dates in low season. Traditionally, sales will accept that it's a good group because it's pushing business into that low season based on the volume, and will use some sort of prefixed rate in order to get the quotation out. Eventually, if the group confirms, the revenue will see the group landing on the books in the PNS. And sometimes we will question whether that was the best decision and we could have pushed the rate a bit higher, but it's too late. The group is already on the books. When you use a platform like BEONx, we can actually collaborate. Revenue can join this negotiation early when the quotation is actually taking place. BEONx can help you estimate the impact of that group, whether we want the group and if we want it at how much when we compare, when we balance, the group contribution versus the transient business contribution to the business over those dates. We can together tweak the offer, tweak the rate, look at the F&B contribution, play with the cancellation policy terms and conditions, and produce the offer. Then we make sure that we are taking a group that we really need that improves not only the top line, but also the bottom line of the hotel. And at the end of the day, we are collaborating to take a profit-focused decision for the hotel. For that, you need to have a platform which allows you to collaborate, as I said before, in real time. But as we said, as we are taking these decisions with a profit focus, we need to move beyond RevPAR. If you hit, as a revenue professional, your RevPAR target, but your OTA costs spike and your F&B is losing money, did you really win? That's the question we need to keep on asking ourselves, and sometimes we don't have the answers. But first of all, what we need to do is a change of mindset, because profitability isn't just a KPI, it's a mindset. Let me give some examples like we did with the groups. For example, distribution. Traditionally, we were very much into maximizing visibility of the hotel. Whereas, as we move to a profit focus mindset, the focus should be on optimizing the net contribution of all these channels where we actually have visibility and production. Pricing, we have all worked with this type of GMs. The focus would have been sell every room, make sure the hotel is full. What about optimizing net RevPAR? And again, making sure that we focus on how much money we are keeping rather than how much money we are generating. Reporting. Here we need to make an effort. ADR, RevPAR, occupancy, very good metrics. But there are traditional metrics which are very much focused on the top line. What about going beyond that and tracking your GOP, your gross operating profit? Let me give you an example. Traditionally, a hotel would have focused on our revenue meetings, would have much focused on those metrics: ADR, occupancy, and room revenue generated. As you can see here, we have two hotels, Hotel A, Hotel B. And if we look at these metrics, this is telling us, the picture is telling us that the Hotel A is performing much better than Hotel B, has a higher ADR, has a higher occupancy, therefore is generating a higher room revenue. However, if we take into consideration, for example, other revenues that we might be generating, in this case, Hotel B is actually generating more F&B, meeting and events revenue than Hotel A. But still, when we look at the total revenue generated, Hotel A is actually generating more revenue, total revenue, than Hotel B. However, if we move to the right of the screen and we continue looking at the picture of these two hotels, when we bring into the picture the distribution costs, Hotel B looks like has a great contribution of direct business. Therefore, the commission and transactional costs associated with the production is actually much lower than Hotel A. Operational costs happen to be lower as well than Hotel B. Therefore, when we look at gross operating profit, the profit that Hotel B has, the money they're actually keeping, is higher than Hotel A. And we can look at gross operating profit and gross operating profit per available room, where clearly Hotel B, at the end of the day, at the end of the process, is keeping more money. We need to start bringing these layers of information, measuring through these type of metrics, which are going to allow us to go beyond rooms and take into consideration total revenue, and then going beyond top revenue production and looking into how much money we are keeping at the end of the day. And finally, we mentioned it before, the buzzword AI. There is this technology revolution. I'm telling you today that technology is basically going to bring, it's going to be the enabler of this evolution of the role of the revenue manager. But how do we integrate AI into our day-to-day as a revenue manager? I'm pretty sure that many of you are using generative AI on your daily basis, on the daily basis. But how do we incorporate AI into our revenue management decision making? What AI allow us to do is basically leave behind traditional approaches of revenue management, which are very much based on intuition, based on experience, which revenue management technology has been able to integrate by allowing us to create rules-based systems that automate some of the processes. But nowadays, with this AI revolution, machine learning models, in the case of BEONx, allow us to receive all these varied data sources and model it, factor it in order to generate mostly two type of outputs, which are going to be really, really helpful on your daily life. First one is going to be forecast, and the second one is going to be a strategy. Using all this information, taking into consideration the twists and turns, the strategy, for multiple segments, your rates, restrictions, group quotations, handling of tour operator contracts, which might be still static in some destinations where you still rely on flights to get your guests in your bedrooms. All of this can be enabled by these machine learning models, which is going to enhance your capacity to take decisions in real time, and to make decisions with a profit focus always in mind. The idea is leaving behind these intuition-based, rule-based ways that we have had of working up until now, because this is what we had, and with potentially lower effort, get a better profit-focused output for your hotels, which is going to allow to improve the bottom line of your properties. This is the technology that hotels are really implementing today. Technology that is allowing them to incorporate AI for the decision making, not replacing necessarily the revenue manager, but enabling the revenue manager to take more decisions more often, better, and to be able to react faster to the changes in the market. This is only possible by taking into consideration the first pillar, this diverse set of data that allow us to really monitor not only what is going on in your property, but going beyond the doors of your hotel. Forecast focus, not only having a forecast, but having this forecast in real time, having a forecast which is accurate, and having a forecast that goes beyond hotel level, that allows us to have this crystal ball into the future and understanding what is the expected performance of your hotel, of the different segments of your hotel, of the different channels of your hotel, of the inventory, the room types, right? And also that allow us to manage all segments, regardless of what is the business model of your property, that we can adapt to the business and to the business model. At the end of the day, hotels are adapting revenue management technology to enhance the output of the revenue manager in order to generate higher profit for the hotels. So automating the routine, enhancing forecasting, communicating our goals, and sharing the decision making across departments, and measuring what really matters is what we deliver from BEONx, but is what is going to really transform the role of the revenue manager, right? And make sure that we are these professionals that are delivering really profit for the hotels. You are not alone. This is something that we experience, obviously, day in, day out with all the clients that we talk to, and the more than 2,000 hotels that we support worldwide. Every hotel group will come to us with a different business model and with a different set of needs and goals that they want to achieve. And that's the beauty of this, right? We are using the same technology to help you and solving the different issues or challenges that you might be experiencing as a hotel. So, for example, Hotel Atelier is one of our first clients. They wanted to centralize their revenue management and really diversify strategy across the different segments. This is what we delivered, and they are seeing incredible results year over year. We also work with more boutique type of hotel companies where they want to use technology, they want to use AI, but they are very much focused on luxury properties, rate integrity, alignment with the needs and expectations of the guests is very, very important. There is always a bit of a concern as to how is technology going to react to our business model and the type of clients that we have. So we have experience with this, and we've been delivering great results for this type of properties. Larger groups like Barcelona Hotels and Resorts, with plenty of hotels worldwide across destinations, what they wanted to have is basically centralized, but also have consistent decision making across their entire portfolio. And that's what they were able to achieve by using a revenue management technology like BEONx. Additionally, Barcelona is specialized in resorts, so we have a module which is focused on helping them to manage tour operator contracts, static, which are because some destinations are, as I said before, very reliant on flights. So that's something that they were looking for, and that we were able to help them. But at the end of the day, we require this human and AI and technology synergy, right? We can deliver the technology, but it takes also an effort from us, the revenue management community, revenue leaders, to wanted to step forward and take the ownership of this evolution of what is expected from us, but also the implementation of the technology, which is going to bring everything together. That's why we are doing this webinar today, to plant these seeds of how the role is evolving, what is expected from us, what we are seeing in different parts of the world, but also, of course, to let you know that there is a technology which could facilitate all of this together. So, as we said before, there is the possibility for you to ask questions. Raquel, I don't know if any questions came through so far. As we have still 5 minutes for questions, perhaps we could dedicate a bit of time for those.
Now, let me just check for questions. I've got one private question. We have a fairly complex process for managing groups in our hotels. We use Opera for handling stages like option, prospect, tentative, confirmed, etc. Can BEONx receive and work with all that information?
Okay, that's a great question, and probably was prompted by the example we gave about breaking silos. Absolutely, you will continue following the process in terms with your groups, in terms of your offers, your prospect, tentative, and confirm. Whatever you follow in your hotel, this information gets all recorded in Opera. And as we said before, as part of this integration, in this case between Opera and BEONx, we will be getting all this information. The groups status that need to be deducted from the hotel capacity will be effectively deducted. Those that are still not to be deducted, we will get visibility. That way, we basically will have full visibility as to everything that is going on for that particular segment, the group segment, and based on that, take the best decision possible, not only for your groups, new groups that might be interested in staying with you, but also the rest of the segments that we are optimizing for you.
Okay, Juan, while we wait for more questions, can we see a couple of the dashboards just to give everybody an idea of what it looks like?
Absolutely. Of course, we will
Thank
need
you.
really time to see some of the to see the platform. But the one thing that our product team really focuses on is usability, because usability means adoption. Adoption means better results. So this is the platform of BEONx. You are going to be able to see basically work with a portfolio of properties, which you can aggregate and work with different clusters, and then the same sequence that we talk about today. You're going to have all the data available to you in different dashboards. You are going to also be have the data available at basically Excel type of format where you can aggregate the data and play with it as you need to. You are going to have a forecast generated for you at different levels, which is going to be the basis of your strategy. And then we are going to be helping you optimize different segments. So your transient dynamic segments that we are going to be able to optimize by generating pricing, minimum length of stays, stop sales, overbooking at the rate plan, room type combination. We are going to help you with your group inquiries, where we are going to be able to understand for each one of the groups what is the risk associated with the group, what is the forecast before and after the group, and give you a recommendation for your rates. All of this done in real time in collaboration with other departments. And even if you have tour operators contracts, we are going to be able to see, or corporate contracts, we are going to be able to see for any date into the future, your booked rooms, your contracted rooms for that segment, your release days, absolutely everything, a 360 overview of your business that we are going to help you optimize. And also, this is the day to day. Also, sometimes it's good to step out and zoom out of your day to day strategy and to be able to aggregate data and review any aspect of your business. So, we have a built in BI tool within the RMS, which is going to allow you to analyze and understand any aspect of your business, pick up on the books, pace, market analysis, channel analysis, feeder market, company comparison, room upgrades, distribution costs, as I said, absolutely everything that you want to understand, not only at the hotel level, but also at the cluster level. So loads to see. As we said before, if you want to learn more, we can definitely book some time and spend some time together and look into the platform with more detail.
Okay, I have another question from Roberts. The vacation rental market is a major part of our overall market. Does BEONx look at the rental market demand when looking at overall market demand and determine pricing predictions?
Absolutely. So basically, that's why we extract data from destination, so we can understand what is going on beyond the hotels in the vicinity. So this is all factored in. We work with different partners, and these different partners take into consideration the demand for the market, not only for hotels, but also for alternative accommodations in the destination. Thank you, Robert, for the question.
Okay, we have another question from Mandy. Do you use your developed rate shopper or do you partner with an existing company? How many times a day do you optimize and make rate decisions?
So basically, in terms of race shopper, what we like to say is that we are agnostic. If you contract a race shopper of your choice, we will bring that data in and we will replicate the contract, and that will replicate not only the competitors and the route types and all this information, which is very important, but also the frequency in which you have contracted the updates of the race shopping data. In terms of the other data sources, for example, Opera, when we are talking already about Opera Cloud, we are getting real-time data from them, and then we are optimizing it basically as the data comes through, right? So depending on the data source, we get more or less frequency. But in the case of the race shopper, going back to the original question, Mandy, it will be replicating the terms and conditions of your contract with your race shopper of choice.
So you will not be doing decisions at certain times during the day.
Well, we will make decisions. If you
Mhm,
want in real time, we could be making decisions in real time. Sometimes we'll be triggered by changes in your on the books. A group gets
mhm.
cancelled, or unexpected pickup happened for a particular day, and sometimes it will be triggered by things happening in your hotel, but also shifts with rates of the competition, or things changing in the market. That's the beauty of having these machine learning models which we were talking about. This is computing all this information with the frequency in which it's coming, and based on the context, is factoring in or disregarding those signals that we are getting. Right? It doesn't mean that everything is changing all the time, because markets are dynamic, but not that dynamic. Right? It will only change when it's obviously relevant and necessary.
Okay, thank you for answering that. And then I have one last question. I'm currently working with Opera Cloud. Can I manage my rates and restrictions directly in BEONx? How do I maintain my strategy in both systems?
Absolutely. So basically, when I'm gonna show it here, so it's super easy to understand. I've been focusing today on data inputs. One of the data inputs was the hotel data. In this case, you are working with Opera Cloud. So via OHIP, we will get that information into BEONx. BEONx will forecast. BEONx will strategize the segments that are relevant to you with the type of outputs that you want to have, rates, restrictions, overbooking, and so on. And then you decide whether you want BEONx to send that information to Opera or to the channel manager or CRS, or as you can see here, to both systems simultaneously. That's completely up to you. But replying to your question, which is a great question, by the way, we do have a one and two-way connectivity with Opera. So absolutely all the output generated by BEONx will be effectively and finally landing in Opera, either manually, because you decide to send the rate, or automatically if you decide to connect our autopilot function, which is of course connected in real time with Opera along, using this two-way integration. So full integration, one way and two way with Opera Cloud, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any more questions. So, Juan, thank you so much for your time and for sharing such valuable
Pleasure.
insights with us today. To the audience, thank you for participating. If you'd like to learn more about BEONx and how they can help you tackle your current revenue management challenges, please feel free to book some time. There is a book option under offers on the margin of your screen where you can book a meeting with Juan and his team. They'll be happy to support you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Goodbye. Speak soon.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.